Namaste, everybody. I am so happy
Namaste.
that everyone's here and we have a good quorum today. We're hosting this after a little bit of a gap. We had a big conference, we hosted around the 9/11, which was the Global Hindu Conference. And today is a pretty exciting topic, actually, because it's not just an educational topic, but something that is very important from a practical perspective. It's about Dharmaansh, and it's not just at a concept level, but Dr. Omendra Ratnu, along with some of the leaders in our community, Hindu community, have been working on this idea of the Dharmaansh Foundation. So he will, of course, come and talk about it in a little more detail. And we've had many of the people that already are part of it and are helping support it and are part of the board and all of that. So I will let Dr. Omendra Ratnu, when he comes in, talk about that. But I think from a historical point of view, it is an important point just to visit some of the things that that changed our society. I mean, Indian civilization or the Hindu civilization is the oldest living civilization in the world. It is pretty much the only civilization that has survived the onslaught of colonization. And that was the topic of our conference, the red, white, and green. So basically the three forces, whether it was Islamic invasions around the world, after the Common Era started, Christianity also went into an expansionist mode. And if you see the world, when Marxism dawned, it also impacted some of the expansionism. So if you see around the world, if you look at the map of the world, what you see is pretty much every part of the world is covered with the red, white, and green, whether communist forces, Islamic states, or the Christendoms. So India remains the only country, major country, and of course there's Israel, which is a tiny dot in the Middle East, but that have some of the ancient civilizational aspects to them, and it is very important to preserve them. So Omiji, thank you for coming and welcome. I will just finish the introductions and hand over the floor to you. But I do want to go to the point of when the British colonized the world. When the British were colonizing the world, and if you know how the Native Americans were genocided, whether it was the Trail of Tears or various other ways that there was a genocide. In India, after the 1857 War of Independence, the British tried to do very similar things. The food was exported out of India, food grains, and the farmers were forced to focus on cash crops like indigo, like cotton, like tobacco and tea, and they're not allowed to grow food grains on their farmland. So all of that put together, not only that, and the food, when it was sent out, there were 24 famines that were literally engineered by the British during about 30 to 40 years after the 1857 War of Independence. There was a major reduction in the population. But one of the things that the British were always worried about was the fact that people still kept helping each other in India. So one of the very important legal clauses they put, or acts that they implemented in India, was a Charitable Endowment Act, under which, of course, they took the temples from India, from the hands of the Hindus. So all of the funds came to them. And also they made it criminal to help or give charity to the poor. Now, that is something most of us don't know. I learned about it recently. And so there were various ways that they socially engineered the country and our populations. Of course, they played divide and rule. But this was a very big change in the way the Hindu civilization, which has always been, cohesive, which was always helping each other out, they stopped giving alms, giving donations, and whatever money was given to the temples was taken away by the British. And still our temples are not free.